Hey guys, Jeff Wolf, president and founder of Iconic Auctions. We've had the privilege to handle many great Beatles pieces, historic items, vintage signed by all the guys, and we've handled some of the best, and this piece I'm about to show you qualifies in that best of the best category. Wonderful story, wonderful signature. So let me explain to you a little bit about what I have in my hands. This is a German Star Club card from 1962. The photo on the front of it features, it's actually one of the earliest photos of the band with Ringo. Of course, the boys were doing their run through Hamburg, Germany, hence the reason this is a German Star Club card. They were going and making their runs through Hamburg to kind of fine-tune their craft, playing 12, 14, 16 hours straight in clubs overnight, in the afternoon time, in the morning time. They were just going bonkers, mastering their songs and learning how to be master musicians. The dynamic with the group, they were getting momentum, but the dynamic just wasn't right. There was something amiss, and they determined that miss was the drummer, Pete Best. So August of '62, they fire Pete Best. They bring in Ringo Starr, and of course we know the rest is history. Interesting fact about this photo is actually taken by Brian Epstein, their famous manager, as the boys were getting onto an airplane. And this photo was taken just after Ringo had joined the band. No sooner did they fire Pete Best, they brought in Ringo, put him on, they were ready to go. But the fans kind of didn't like that. Pete Best was a kind of a fan favorite there in Liverpool. And so their first few concerts that they did, there was some scuffles, there was some upset, loyal, dedicated Pete Best fans. And it's kind of hard to see, but you can actually notice in this photo, there's a little bit of bruising around George Harrison's eye. He actually got punched in the face getting in an encounter with a fan because they were so upset about Ringo replacing Pete. Nevertheless, they obviously worked through that, became the greatest rock band of all time. These are incredibly rare, but before I go into more details about that, why don't we show you here, beautiful set of signatures, all inscribed to Carol by all four members of the band. The signatures date to November, December 1962, so some of the earliest full band examples of the boys with Ringo in tow. You got these early examples of their signatures, especially John, slightly different than what his would morph out to. They all are kind of a little different because they're super duper early. The card is exceptionally clean. I mean, you just look at it. This thing was signed 64 years ago. And, you know, it's exceptionally clean. Now, a few things you've probably seen if you follow our auctions. You might see we've had the privilege to handle a handful of Beatles promotional cards. Those are predominantly parlophone cards, which are great pieces and very desirable, but the scarcity of the parlophone card to the star card is drastic. Star cards by far are much more rare. These guys, they basically created these for the short end of their tenure in Hamburg, and these things were only given out to a handful of people before they moved out of Hamburg, went back to the UK, and then started touring around, and then toured around the globe, and then became international superstars. Only a handful of these things signed by the band have surfaced. This is the finest example we've ever seen. It comes with a detailed letter of provenance. In addition to that, it's authenticated by some of the biggest and best names in third-party authentication. This piece comes with letters of authenticity from, let's see here. It comes with a letter of authenticity from Beckett Authentication, from Steve Grad and his newly formed Grad Authentication Services. It comes with a letter of authenticity from Roger Epperson of Real Authentication. And last but certainly not least, comes with a letter of authenticity from Trax in the UK. You'll see Beatles signed items, you'll see vintage signed items, but few are as desirable as this, in as good a condition as this, and having as exceptional, clean, strong, beautiful, early signatures as this. This is some of the earliest, some of the best, some of the most desirable investment grade Beatles autographs we have handled. So make sure to check it out. It's in our auction closing this Saturday at iconicauctions.com.